And we're live. Hi, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is My Conserva, and today's topic. I'm trying to get my tablet right. All right, today's topic is do it yourself professionally. So that will be our topic for today. I'm trying to get my tablet up. Hi, Bruno. All right, now back to our topic at hand. We're trying to really do things professionally when it comes on to do it yourself. You can. I'm fine. And how are you? I'm very fine, Bruno. As a matter of fact, I'm great today. Um, right. So, like I said, we're trying to do things professionally, and it involves the do-it-yourself task that we have. Do-it-yourself task in relation to conservation is really all about saving that money. It's it's rather easy saving our money using other methods sometimes and just depositing it sometimes in a bank. So sometimes that's the easiest way for us because with the high escalation now of the cost of other supplies, it's rather difficult. So we're going to tackle High Storm Chaser. So we're going to tackle the DIY tasks that we have or the DIY tasks that we're doing. And we're going to see how we can do it professionally as amateurs, do professionally as amateurs, and still save that cost that we're trying to achieve. If you have followed my channel, you would have seen that there are a number of DIY tasks that I have done, quite a number of them. Um, and it's with whatever ideas that came to mind. I would see things and like it, and because I like it, I'm going to try it. I have tackled some tasks that some persons have said would have been hi Beto. Some tasks that some persons the platform is a little flawed. I turned on the notification and it didn't arrive. I'm sorry it happens to me at times with other persons' channel. However, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think it might be not on my side because it's not like I could have sent you notifications. I'm sorry if it happens. All right. So like I say, we try at times, or I try at times to create things that some persons may see as impossible or hard to do, but I try to do it nevertheless in order to help myself. And I think I like doing it. I like tackling those tasks. I like tackling those tasks because it makes me feel accomplished in some way and it gives that personal touch to whatever it is that I'm doing. So I do like it. All right. In terms of the professional side to it, sometimes it may take practice. However, we don't have this thing repeating over and over again where we're doing one task numerous times. So because of that, the the practice that is there will be sometimes it might be just in our minds. It might be that side where we feel like we can do it. It might be like planting something where the next time we because we're constantly doing it, we're constantly improving, and we know that some plants don't like some environment or some type of media to it. So it does help where that is concerned. It takes practice at times. And like I said, do it yourself, it involves almost anything. It doesn't only involve probably building things alone. It can be things that you do around the house, things that you do in the garden, anything, anything it involves. So we're going to look on what is it, some of the benefits that these DIY tasks, allow us to do. Um, right. Some of these things that these DIY tasks allow us to do. So take for instance, I have, like I said, I have done some very tedious tasks sometimes. I think the hardest project that I've ever done on a DIY is the um is the floor. It was the hardest task. I think you might be able to see it somewhere along there. Right. It's the hardest one that I've ever done. I do not promise anyone that I'll do it again because it's rather difficult. It's rather difficult, and I think that's the most difficult task I've ever done. I've done easier ones that no big thing in thinking about. I just do it. And I think I do these things because I like working with my hands. I like working with my hands, and I find that when I work with my hands, it creates a form of relaxation for me. What I realized too, probably because I'm using my brain to do my work on a day-to-day basis, being in the office, being out there using my hands to do whatever it is that I decide to tackle is a form of enjoyment for me. I find my relaxation that way. So I like doing it. It takes the hustle out of what I have to do in the days, and it gives me that peace of mind and that relaxation. So it's easier for me where that is concerned. Now, other than saving money, the DIY task, it honestly it costs less. It costs less if you are to really think about it. Because when I was doing the flooring, I knew I would spend probably 3 to 4 times the amount of money to pay for that in labor, but then I cut out labor costs totally. So one of the greatest benefits for me was that it cost me far, far, far less money. It cost me far less money. So it was easier. It was easier for me where that was concerned. Another thing too is that, am I a bit hazy? Storm, am I a bit hazy? I'm not sure because I shifted. Anyway, yeah, another thing too for me is that it teaches you something new each time that you should do it. And it allows you to develop a form of, I don't know if you can say learning curve, where the next time you should tackle a task like that, it would be far, I'm okay now, thanks. I'm not seeing it okay. It's it's a bit hazy to me. All right. I'll just continue. It's a learning curve. You develop a learning curve from it so that in case someone asks you to assist with doing that particular task, it will be easier for you than what it is for them. And you can tell them of the hassle you had the first time doing it. And if it's even to help them to do it, it will create that comfort doing it the next time around. Some tasks for me, I've had the opportunity to repeat. So I have the opportunity to repeat certain tasks. Some I don't get that opportunity because I don't give myself that opportunity to repeat it as well, repeat that task. I don't give myself that privilege to repeat it because it's something that I never want to repeat again. But some of the tasks I will do myself. Um, I'm clear now. I'm pretty. Another thing, another thing about these DIY is that while you're learning something new, it is fun and it is fulfilling. You feel that sense of accomplishment when you feel that sense of accomplishment when you have completed this task, knowing that, hey, I did that. So it gives you that feeling. It for me, each time I should do a task, sometimes you hear persons would see the task and ask, hey, who did that? And it gives great pleasure to just say, I did it. It honestly gave that great pleasure to say that you did that task yourself. You have accomplished something. So you feel like it's and you can make it enjoyable. It depends. Like some children love playing in the mud. Some of us will love playing in concrete, even though it can be dangerous at times, but it feels good. And for that too, you're able to develop a certain type of skill. You're able to develop a certain type of skill. So possibly it might not be that task that you should encounter another time, but a similar task, it makes it easier the second time around doing it. Understand? Hi, Vito, or hello, Vito. I know you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I can read, and for those who see me speaking with some persons in the chat who are speaking Portuguese, I do understand when Vito speak. I'm not sure that he understands all that I'm saying. However, I'm asking Storm to please type and tell him that I know that he is here. I see him and I can read what he's saying. I can read what he's saying. Thank you, Vito. All right. So while being fun and fulfilling, then it also another thing about DIY projects, it gives you an opportunity to meet new people. For me, the only new persons I'm going to meet doing my task is probably the persons I'm going to buy things from. So it might be the I go to the hardware and I ask for what I want. Sometimes I'm given a little hassle because I feel that as a female, I honestly don't know what I want, but I do know what I want, and I ask for it sometimes by name. Sometimes I will come out with the wrong thing, or they are trying to convince me that that's not what I want, but I know what I want. So that's only new persons I will be able to meet because I like doing things by myself. I like doing my tasks by myself. I accept. I like challenges. I like um, going outside of what is the required norm. I like going outside of the required norm. So I will tackle certain tasks and do it gladly. But I like doing it by myself. I think I get that sense of accomplishment when I do it by myself and I see that it is completed. So you may meet new persons. Probably if it's a group project that you decide to undertake, you will be able to meet new persons from it. Storm Beta says thank you. All right. So your pursuit for improvement, it will give you the opportunity to meet new persons. Now, on top of that, you're now charged with this new skill. So you have now the skill to probably mix concrete, or you have the new skill to probably tackle woodwork. Some of us are not good with even hammering, as simple as hammering. So some of the tasks that I might see as a simple task, you may have difficulty with it. So tackling that, or I wouldn't say fear, because it's not like you wouldn't lift a hammer up. Stay here with us, supporting us. He promised to Bruno. He promised to stay, and I believe him. He will stay. So yes, you get a chance to do meet new people, and you get a chance to be charged with this new skill. You're charged with this new skill, and with this new skill, it will enable you to do other tasks on your own, probably. um I was speaking today about sometimes you have even jobs in the office and they are splintered. Yes, I do understand why the jobs are splintered. Jobs are splintered sometimes in the office to create that clear and defined segregation of duty. However, when it comes on to a DIY project, if you have to do it yourself, you'll be able to do this thing from start to finish and do it perfectly. Perfectly. No, right. You really don't want to spoil it. And as a matter of fact, sometimes you think you spoil it, you really don't spoil it. It's yours. You're the one who is using it, you're the one who is seeing it. So it really don't spoil. And sometimes what you see as a what you would call spoil, it's not a it's not something that someone else sees as spoil. They may see it as looking good. I'll give you a instance where my mother my mother was a dressmaker for years. So as a child, I would love to take the extra material that she had, and I would sew it with my hand. Or sometimes, as soon as she get up from around the machine, I would go around there and I would sew it. Whatever it is that I was making with that little piece of cloth, until I graduated to making my own clothes. Now, when I made my own clothes, persons on the outside would say, "Hey, that looks good." However, the only person who was able to find that fault with that clothing was my mother, because she was the expert at this. So she knew where ever fault on that skirt or that dress that I made or that blouse that I made was. So it will be just the same with this DIY project. Only you may be able to see where the fault is. I may not be able to see it. And to me, it may look good. As a matter of fact, you may have persons who are offering to even buy these things from you. You can probably make a business out of it because you're learning this new skill. You're learning, I know that's what he said. Let's support our friend. You're learning, thanks, Storm. You're learning this new skill, and this new skill may or may not become a business for you. No, another thing is it gives us, I thanks Storm, I'm able to read what Peter says actually. I don't know why, but when he spoke, I am able to read what he said. So you can tell him I'm able to understand what he said. He said yes, and construction. I saw it. Um, you can tell him, because I'm not sure that he's understanding what I'm saying right now. Not everything that I'm saying he's able to understand. All right. Another thing too, for those persons who are probably nearing retirement, it gives you another option. Not only with doing things yourself, because probably some of the tasks that you may want to do as DIY projects, you may not be able to do it yourself where it is concerned. Thank you, Beto. You may not be able to do it yourself where that is concerned. However, probably simpler things, it may be you specializing in probably plants, probably plants. So you're specializing in plants and you understand this type of plant where you can probably make a business out of it. So it's an option. You're going into retirement. So it's an option doing things yourself to probably create an additional income when you have lost one. Hey, Auntie Lorna, I'm seeing you, Auntie Lorna. Yes. My content today is DIY projects and doing it professionally. Yes, it's really good to see you, Auntie Lorna. Thank you for coming. Um, and ironically, I know you're in retirement, and I was saying that sometimes these DIY projects may end up that it gives us another option for retirement. So, being in retirement, it probably might mean that you're able to plan things, or you're able to understand a particular plan so much so that you can sell it to us who don't understand. Because can I tell you, I do have a lot of plants myself, and I think is each plant that I have, Beta, that's my aunt. That is my aunt. Each plant that you have is treated differently. It uses different medium to grow. Some might need the soil, some might need the regular soil that we have at home, some might just need sand. So it depends. It depends on the plant that we have, and we can make a business out of it. Because what I'm seeing now, persons are buying plants like crazy. They are buying plant like crazy. Antilana, Beta, my friend from Brazil, is telling you hello. He doesn't speak English. Still learning a lot from you about plants, baby girl. I'm telling you, I'm learning myself. And that is why I am putting it out there to let persons know what I have learned. I've seen some miraculous things happen, especially after the drought when we got the rain. I've seen some miraculous things happen with my plants. Some of them I'm still honestly surprised with, but I'm still learning. So as I learn and I go along, I'm sharing. So it's not, you're not the only one learning. I'm learning as well. So when I learn and I find it out, then I'm sharing. All right. Another thing that for everyone on the chat, my Auntie Lorna says hi. Bito, she's telling you hi. All right. Another thing that DIY does for us is we're able to work with our hands. Like I said, for me, probably because I'm in the office using my brain every day. Um, I find that working with my hands are enjoyable. Thank you, Storm. I find that working with my hands, I find that enjoyable, and I'll do that for 24 hours of the day, and I'm not tired. I don't know why. I don't know. My brain sometimes when I'm home from work, I'm just dead tired. But when I'm working with my hands, the least opportunity I get, I find that I'm not tired then. I'm fine. I'm okay. Until Lorna, he's telling you that I'm his friend. Um, yes, so I find that working with my hands, I do enjoy that more than anything else. And another thing that it does for me, it takes me away from my devices. It takes me away from the devices. We need to be sometimes away from these devices, the internet, the whatever. I think the only problem I have sometimes is because I want to show it I want to show you. So I still have to draw for whatever it is that I'm using to record, to send to you. But other from that, it takes me away from my phone. Sometimes I have my phone ringing, and the first thing is I can't answer you. I can't answer you because I can't stop what I'm doing at that point in time. I'm enjoying it so much that I refuse to stop. I honestly refuse to stop. So I stay away from the devices at that time. And sometimes we need to take a break from these devices. We do. We need some me time, or we need some time alone, probably with nature, with our ecosystem that we have created. I know I enjoy my ecosystem that I've created. I really enjoy it so much that sometimes I just live out there. So we need to be away from these devices. Sometimes it does take us away from these devices, and it's enjoyable when we're away from it sometimes, because sometimes some of the things that we're getting on this internet is rather depressing. Another thing too is that it creates a sense of accomplishment. So we feel, um, Bruno says, Storm, no doubt, my friend. Every day is a learning experience. Yes, it is. We are here to learn from our friend Smart. Thank you. Um, it does give you a sense of accomplishment. I have achieved this. So it gives you that sense of accomplishment. And I honestly, for me personally, I do like it. I like that sense of accomplishment. I like when persons would look at it and say, hey, that's nice. This is good. Or you did that? I like that. I like that. So it gives me that sense of accomplishment, and I do enjoy all of that. Feeling that I have accomplished something. Yeah, you're going to see the flaws in it, and you're the only one, like I tell you sometimes, who see this flaw. Other persons, they don't see it, and they are not going to see it unless you show them. And I don't really show flaws. I just allow the person to look at it. And it's not good sometimes when persons try something that we sit down and we criticize it, because in all honesty sometimes we can't do it ourselves. We can't. We try, we can't do it ourselves. So just leave it be. Once they love it, I think, allow them to get that sense of accomplishment. Allow them to feel accomplished. Allow them to feel probably complete, that they can tackled such a task and they did it. So allow them. It's not nice sometimes to critique everything that we see, especially when persons make an effort at something. It's not nice sometimes. Sometimes just some and as a matter of fact, not care how bad it looks. Um, The bougainvilleas have been thriving throughout the drought. The lantanas also. The bit of rain has helped tremendously, but ferns all dried up and we lost some snake plants. Angelina, I have a vlog that is coming out, and it speaks to how I save some of my plants, because I tell you the droughts were terrible. I saved I saved my friends from that by just having this thing dripping it, and I'll show you all of that. It's rather cheap. I got four of them. So especially during the drought, I had it in the plant. So I'll show you that. I'll show you that what I have. It's coming out in a vlog, and it was rather cheap. It's an alternative to the drip irrigation system that I have, because the drip irrigation system couldn't reach everywhere. So you find that, especially the ferns, and I have some lovely Boston ferns, I could not have afforded to lose them. The ferns that I had around the front door, I was not watering, and they didn't die. They didn't die. Miraculously, they didn't die. So sometimes, and in all honesty, I think I've learned my lessons with drought. where I have sat in the past and I've waited on the rain to fall, because at times during this drought we had instances where when I was coming home it looked like rain would fall. So we have that instant where we think rain would fall and it don't fall, and it messes us up because we could have watered, and sometimes just that delay in watering, just that delay, you would lose something. I did lose something. Yes, I will WhatsApp you the details that I think that you, yeah, I will. Sure. I'll send you pictures and all and where I got it. And I should thankfully say throughout the drought, I just lost one plant. Just one. Yes, I will WhatsApp you. All right. Now back to DIY and us feeling accomplished with whatever task that we are doing. Another thing that it does is it increases our self-reliance. I know for me it does. And probably because I've always been a self-motivated person. I don't need anybody to motivate me. And I seek to look within myself to see what it is that I can tackle. I don't rely on anybody to fix things for me. And I know that for DIY, because I've been tackling DIY projects throughout the I wouldn't say years, probably it's years, I have been confident enough to see a task and know that I can do it. I know that I can do it. I have friends who probably see some things and they say, "Hey, I know you can do that." I have family members as well who see certain tasks and they know that I can do it. So while I do have that support team who feel that I can do it, I think the greatest team or the greatest person that you need is yourself. So you need to convince yourself at any means necessary that you can tackle this. You can tackle this task. I remember even today, yeah, I have most of my work on, not most. I have some of my work on the vlog. Even today I was telling somebody that I remember when my cousin was building the settee, I gave him the design, everything. Now, all I wanted was a complete settee. Yes, my settee looked odd. It was like no other. When I saw it, I said, that is it. So I wanted that settee. And I gave him the design and I said to him, okay, he does the woodwork. So I'm asking him to find somebody to make the cushion part of it. And he said, yes, he found this man. So he found the man, and the gentleman said to him, I think he gave him the price. However, my cousin felt that it was just too expensive for me to pay. And he said, no, give me back the material. She can make it herself. Can you imagine? He took back the material from the gentleman. I gave him material and everything. I was honestly willing to pay for it. However, he said, no, give it back. She can do it herself. And at that point, it's like I was lost. I didn't know where to start. However, at the time, I had my biggest fan, which was my mother. And she said, come, come and let me show you how to do it. And we did it. And it has been that feeling, that feeling has been there where I've had no persons coming and say, hey, that's it, you look good, is where you get it. So I can honestly feel happy that I played a part in accomplishing that task. And I relied on myself with the assistance of my mother at the time to do it. I have another task like that to do because I'm asking my cousin to do one more. And if you're listening to this vlog, please, I'm asking you, just please, make me SETI, make another one for me. I have given him the design already. However, that one is one that I'm going to tackle by myself to do the cushions in it. I've started. However, I'm going to need his assistance to do the woodwork part, and I'll do the rest. I'm fine. I'll do the rest. I think I was taught well. Um, I think I was taught well. Beat, I'm reading what you're saying. I think I was taught well in terms of the art of sewing. So I know that in terms of being self-reliant, where a piece of material with a sewing machine, with needle and thread, I'm good. I'm fine. Not everyone can do that. However, it takes some time. Some things, for me, I know I was taught I would shut my eye and do it. Some things I have to teach myself. And I find that teaching myself has enabled me to tackle new things. And it honestly gives me that confidence as well to be self-reliant. All right. Another thing with um Angelina is saying, you do know how proud I am of you and you're carrying on your mom's legacy. Yes, I know that persons are proud of me. I think she would be proud of me too, because I have had instances where I remembered sometimes she would say, come here, you can't, she said, come here, you can't give me one of them business the way you have. And it's not that I had a business, I didn't have a business, but it's just that I was that good with my hands. Yes, Bito, I know I'm brilliant, I know I'm intelligent, and thank you very much. Um, so Ruth, I think you may have to translate for Bito. You may have to tell him what you just said, because while I can read it, he might not be able to read it. So please, can you translate? Storm, can you ask him to translate for Bito, please? Translate what he said for Bito. No, another thing with DIY, and or I'm not straying back to my mother's legacy. Yes, she did leave a legacy with me where I have that skill set. She was self-taught as well. She was self-taught as well, and I honestly can't remember her guiding us like that with a sewing machine. I remember the very first time I did sewing in high school, the teacher gave us a pencil case to make, and I hurriedly went home and I went around that machine and I sewed it. The only thing I couldn't sew was a zip, and she showed me how to. So I do know that I have that legacy. I have whatever it is that she has taught me. I honestly don't do some of the things that she has taught me because I find that unlike my mother, she was not in a rush. She did her task diligently for me. I just want it done. So while she would take the time and spend probably 2, 3 days to sew a dress, I'm not going to do that. If I'm sewing a skirt today, I want the skirt today. So while I do have or carry on my mother's legacy, I am more impatient with it. All right, now with the DIY, it can be a bonding activity. So you have kids at home, or you have your family members, your spouse, your child, be it what it might be a friend. It's a way to bond. So you bond with this partner, this child, this roommate, and you guys decide now that you're going to tackle this task together. So tackling the task together, it can also allow you to get to understand and know the other person. And I remember in a vlog I had said that sometimes when you do these tasks, it adds that personal touch. Now, when you have someone else doing this task with you, you need to be mindful that you're now looking on two or more personal touch right there, right? Everybody's going to add their personal touch to this DIY project that you're undergoing. So you need to be mindful of that. Sometimes it can create conflict because you're just asking the person to help or to assist. Sometimes what I find, if I want to maintain that personal touch, I just give instructions. Can you hold this piece of board for me, or can you mix this cement for me, or I might add the color myself because I want to make sure that it's a color that I want and not the color that you want. So you can add that personal touch. You can add that personal touch to it, nevertheless, by just giving instructions. And please, people, when you're giving these instructions, don't let it seem as if you're ordering this person. Because I'm not going to do a task with you or assist you to do a task if I think you're ordering me around. You're not my boss, or am I your subject for you to be ordering me around? Auntie Lorna is saying, you'll be interested to know that I just completed my first tailored shirt. Oh, not only that, I completed a top with the same fabric. That's good. And how long did it take you to do? How long did it take? I know for me, sewing for me is it must be no. Um, any idea you need to check, Smarty? I think you may have to translate that for Beto. Um, so it's for me with sewing, I want it now. And yeah, I might sew, I will sew all of the curtains or the drapes in here. When I start it, I want it finished. And that is why sometimes I tend to do my sewing on, if I do it on a weekend, I would do it on a Saturday and then finish it on a Sunday. Or if it's a holiday, then I'm going to do it during that holiday, that once I start it, I finish it. I don't like to put down anything. So until on, if you can tell me, how long did this shirt take you with that top? How long? And is it something that you see yourself wearing wearing on the road for other persons to see? Do you think that if other persons see, they would like it? And Lana says, too long because I was reluctant to do the buttonholes. Um, Ironically, buttonholes for me, it I think I do buttonholes professionally. I remember once where my mother's, because she had a machine that can do buttonholes, lovely. However, it broke down, and I told her, I can do it, let me try it. And I did it. And I think from then on, when our machine break down, she would call me to say, come do this. So I would go and do it. Buttonhole, it can be a bit tedious sometimes because you want to make sure that when you cut that, you have everything on this, you have everything covered with this threading. So yeah, it can take you a little while, and you want to make sure that you don't cut that hole too big. You want to make sure that you don't cut the hole lean. Everything is lined up. So I do understand with the buttonhole, it takes a little time, but the other part was okay. It was completed within a reasonable time, right? That's the thing for me with sewing. When I do it, I just want it done now. So even if I want it to do now, is that buttonhole thing, I'm not going to tackle it. So I'm going to probably make a skirt or a dress with the zipper, where I can just go around the machine and zoom, everything finished. All right, so back to our DIY. Other than it creating a bonding it creates a bonding activity. We find that when you do DIY project, it also opens it to a new community where it can be either online or persons who you find that's interested in it. And I can give you an example. years ago, when my mother was alive, I remembered, and my mother was my hype person. So if I had a task to do, even when other persons didn't believe in me, I could go to and say, yes, my daughter, make it. Or yes, my daughter, do it. I remember I suffer from eczema. And because of that, thank you, Storm. And because of that, I discovered based on reading, because I do read a lot, especially when it is to Jamaica and Brazil. Thanks, Bito. I know I read that. So I remembered suffering from this eczema, and it was honestly traumatizing. And I remember getting up one night and I read where the neem could have helped me. I did get the neem that day and I used it to bathe, and I slept like a baby. It was easy. It was easy sleeping after bathing with that neem. However, my thing was I didn't want to bathe with any leaf on me. Honestly, I felt that in the morning, because I had to use it in the morning. To I was determined to use it. So I wanted to go to work the morning and not itch and not have this itch on me. So I used it the morning, and when I went to work, I was very conscious. So each time I was wondering. I had a friend, and she was very straightforward. I like those persons. I find that I gravitate to certain persons who are plain and straightforward with me. If I should lift a pen and you feel that this pen shouldn't be lifted by me, I honestly think you should tell me that, hey, I'm wrong right there. So I find that I gravitate towards those type of persons. So because I know how she was plain and straightforward, I made sure I was beside her for the entire day. So I know that if I in any way, any form smell like this green leaf, she would say, "Come here. Oh, you smell so." But she didn't say it for the whole day. So I said, wait, but this thing work. After three, after 3 days, the eczema was gone. It was gone totally. Until Lana says, after I tested the buttonhole, stitch on the machine and was satisfied, then the complete project took about 45 hours. Yeah. And yes, we're planning to wear the garments during the week. There you go. So you probably need to tell me who tell you that it looked good. Or probably need to take pics. Take pics and put it on your profile. Take pics and put it on your profile. Sunday live smart. Okay, Beta, I'm honestly reading what you're saying. I don't know why. Why am I reading what Beta's saying and I'm understanding what Beta is saying? Yes. So I was at the time I was telling you about, yes. At the time I was really conscious of the fact that I used this to get rid of the eczema. And after 3 days, it was gone. I didn't have that itching anymore. So I decided out of the blues that, hey, I don't want to bathe with this. Right. Send me the pics. Let me see the pics, how them look, the his and hers. So I decided that I was going to make a soap. And my mother being the hype person, she encouraged me all the way. Remember, I know soap making a lab. Me no know nothing about soap. Me no know nothing about soap. The only thing I knew about soap was what I read. Was what I read. So I had to be reading how to make this soap, and the soap that I wanted had to be a particular type. So it had to have neem in there. So I went out and I bought the neem oil, and I wanted a hard bar. So I read again what would make a hard bar soap, and I did it. I've done it for quite a number of. I think I did it for probably a year. I'm not a person who will continue something. I know I could have made a business out of it, and I know I still can make a business out of it, but I'm not one to continue certain things for too long. Um, B2, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm great actually. So I'm not one to make a business out of it. However, because I enjoy doing things with my hands, I find that I was able to accomplish a lot. So other than it being, Angelana, I don't know how they know. Did you give your thumbs up? Please give your thumbs up to the live. My moderator is asking for it. He's asking if you gave your thumbs up. All right. So while we say that this thing creates a bonding activity, you can meet new friends. So as a result of me making the soup, I did meet new friends. I joined a forum where I saw other persons making, I saw other persons making other soap as well. Other soap that I would probably have tried if I wanted to, but because I'm not that type of person who will pursue something for too long, my interest tend to move sometimes. My interest tend to move, and I find that conservation has been my longest interest for a while. And I think the reason why conservation has been my interest is because it's saving my money in my pockets. So that is why I think conservation is my biggest interest. All right. Another thing with DIY projects is that it's a honestly welcome distraction. It I know for me it distracts me from the everyday life that is there, the sorrows. Um, it allows you, while you're focused on what you're doing, it also distracts you from doing other things, and that is why when I'm doing these projects, I'm not cooking because the food will burn. So it's a honestly welcome distraction for me, and it can be a welcome distraction for you. So you can probably tackle it if you want to take your mind off the everyday hustle and bustle of life. Um, Sometimes for me, I would love to. I like music, so I'd love to just listen to my music and do my thing around there, or listen to my music sometime in order to concentrate or to enjoy what I'm doing. I probably have my earphones in my ear listening to my music while doing it. I do listen to music when I'm doing a lot of things because that's what I enjoy. So if I enjoy doing it, I'll do it and do it effortlessly without any hassle. Another thing about the DIY is it builds perseverance. So on while doing DIY projects, you'll buck up on some roadblocks at times. And roadblocks where I mean that even with the sewing thing that Auntie Lana was saying, her roadblock at the time was the buttonholes. So that would be her roadblock. And if we persevere, then it means we can overcome it because she did. She over she overcome her obstacle or her roadblock, and she solved it. She solved the problem. I'm sure. Yeah, you give the thumbs up. You hear that, Storm? She gave the thumbs up. She said some other recent DIY that I have worked on were repairing screen doors. I did that. I did the window one. Also applying of privacy film on front glass windows. The DIY of repairing the screen on the windows and the door. Are you talking about the frame or the mesh itself? I've done that as a DIY project. It's rather easy, but I find that the first time I did it, Auntie Lana, replacing the mesh on the windows, I had a warm time. My hand hurt me because I did not have the tool or the mesh, right? I didn't have the tool to roll in the you see the black plastic, the black thing that you put in to hold the mesh in. It's actually called a spline or a spleen. I think it's a spleen. A spleen or a spline, I'm not sure. And it has to be rolled in with something. So when I did it, I didn't have that. And the time when I decided now to tackle this major task, I decided to go out and I was going to buy this. I was going to buy the tools that I wanted. I was going to go out there and buy the tools that I wanted to complete it. See, you have the strength. I wanted to tackle it myself. So I went out and I bought the tool and I found that the tool helped. The tool helped so much that I even loaned out the tool and somebody used it as well and said, Joy, this easy. This thing is easy. So they did it. So I use a tool and I just roll it. I just roll it. So it's easy with the tool itself. And majority of the times, and that's another thing too with DIY projects that we tackle. Please don't tackle these tasks if you know you don't have the tools. If you don't have the tools, leave the task alone. You can't do a task with you might have the material, which is a wood, but you don't have the tools to put this to combine the wood together to make what it is that you want to make. Or you're doing something with cement, you don't have the trowel or the shovel to mix the cement together. If you're planning to tackle DIY projects, especially some of the things that we're working with our hands, unless you're planting. If you're planting, then it's a different thing because you can find anything to dig the earth or anything to throw the thing in the pot. You need the tools. Whatever it is, you need the tools. So if you're going to tackle the task, make sure that you have the tools to tackle the task. Don't take on the task and you don't have the tools to. Right, tools are essential and it makes the job easier because especially when I was doing that window mesh, easy with the tool. Easy. As a matter of fact, when I was finished, I knew I could do that as a job. I knew I could do it as a job. Um I knew I knew I could do it as a job. So it was rather easy. Another thing, another thing, and the final thing about DIY projects is it gives you that necessary and needed exercise. It does. Exercising for some of us may be, I wouldn't say difficult, but it can be, it's something that you have to set your mind to. It is done effortlessly when you're doing some of these DIY tasks. So when I'm around there hammering, effortless, my hands are moving, I'm on my feet. I find that sometimes in order to accomplish these tasks and accomplish it quickly, I stand. I like standing when I'm doing it. So effortlessly it is done. Yes, Peter, I'm actually on the final or the finale of my life. So effortlessly I can do it. Once I set my mind to it, I will do it. There are some parts of the task though that unlike sewing for me where I feel that my task must be done with sewing in one day, some of it will need that extra day or extra days to do. um Sewing for me doesn't give me the much needed exercise that I think my body requires, but the other DIY tasks that I've done, I think it does. Sewing for me probably is just because I will just cut today and then tackle the task tomorrow. Um, Storm is asking me to stay 5 more minutes. Okay, fine. So I'll just cut today and tackle the task tomorrow. So some tasks for me is not giving me that much needed exercise, but doing a DIY project or doing a DIY task, it does help to give your body that exercise that you need, especially if you're like me, where you're in office for 5 days per week, or I don't sit around at this 5 days a week. I'll be in another building, or I might be on the road. It depends. I might be on the road doing whatever it is that I have done. So it that being around a desk doesn't require much physical movement. You're just sitting there and you're using a computer every day. It doesn't give you that required movement that you really need. So doing these DIY tasks, it does give you that movement. And it actually does require the movement, because you might have the board over there, you might have the ammo over there. And if you're like me, sometimes if you're hammering over there, you're going to leave the ammo over there, or you're over there and the nail is over there, or the nail fly away, and you have to go for it. So it does create that movement. So it does give you the exercise that you need. And another thing where that movement is concerned, it does improve strength and coordination. And these two things sometimes it keeps away depression and anxiety. So it helps. It does help. So you can probably think about tackling some DIY projects sometimes to assist with some of these things, that you soon need some help, Storm, to do what? Which DIY task you are going to tackle? And look here, I really don't like tackling tasks for or with other people, because sometimes they don't know what they want, Sometimes they don't know what they want, and anything that I'm going to help with, it will be, you will tell me. Anything that they're going to want help with will be my touch. It will be my personal touch. And I think when you are developing a task, it should be your personal touch. Yours, not mine. Um, it will be yours, not mine. As a matter of fact, it should be yours, not mine. No problem. If it's an idea as to how to tackle a task, then I can assist. However, in order to help you with the task, if that's the help that you need, then I'm game. You can always get my suggestion as to what to use, um how to tackle it, or if I have that personal experience, I can tell you what could go wrong or what will go wrong if you do certain things. So I can help where that is concerned, but to assist you to do the task, no. No, it won't be that. All right. Do I have any questions in the chat? Next project to be tackled will be correcting our plumbing issue for the laundry area, specifically as it relates to the washing machine. Um, in terms of what are you doing? Is it that you need the pipe? You need the pipe where the water machine, what washing machine hose go into? I think with mine, I think with my washing area, I know where my error was with the washing area. It can be corrected, but I'm honestly not interested in it. Probably if I should decide to remove the wash tub, then I'll tackle that. However, in the interim, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. The plumbing issue at times, you say, Auntie Lana, sometimes what I find with plumbing is it's best for you to read up first, because sometimes some of these persons who we think understand the assignment, they don't really understand the assignment. So some of the things that they ask us to buy, we really, them just improvise and use it, and it's not the correct thing to use. It takes me, um I wouldn't say trial and error. It takes me making a mistake where some things like that was concerned for me to realize that, hey, an error was made here. And sometimes some of these errors that are made by the plumbers themselves, it can't be corrected that easily. It takes a whole heap of work to correct it. Is there any more questions? I'm happy to have you on my live participating. I want to thank those who live in Jamaica, and especially those who live in Brazil. Thank you for coming on my live. I do enjoy speaking with you. Um, I will tell you in the week what the live will be. I think next week live maybe taking a different format from this. However, I'm going to try and be available for next week live. I may have commitments, however, I'm honestly going to try. Yes, the wastewater is being channeled to irrigate some plants in the backyard. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. I did it already and it worked. It worked. So that's good, Auntie Lana. Honestly, that's good. I wish I could have done it again, but I can't. So like I say, I want to thank you all for coming to my live. Thank you, Bruno. I want to thank all of you from Jamaica, from Brazil, anywhere in the world you are watching my live. I have persons from India, all over the globe. So I want to thank you. I even have, I think it's Nigeria. Yeah. I want to thank you for joining. I know some of you just sit there looking at me, you're not sharing. However, if and when I do have a live, you can ask me any question relating to conservation. I'll be happy to help. I'll be happy to answer. I want to thank you again for coming. And to everyone, either good morning or good night, whatever it is in your country. And please stay safe and don't make conservation a burden. Thank you.